Good morning everybody, welcome to Newcastle. Looks like we've got a plane on the roll. There's a couple lined up. Not Scoopy what this one is. KLM I'd probably guess. Definitely Ryanair tucked in behind. Anyway, in case you didn't know who's talking, I'm Mark. Doesn't look very KLM, does it? British Airways? Can't quite tell. British Airways. Anyway, I hope you are doing fine on what is Maundy Thursday. Grateful if I could have feedback on sound. Sounds a little bit loud to me if I'm honest in my headset, but it might be headset setting. I just need to tweak things up. Ryanair off to Paphos is our next plane. So let's do some highs in the chat to all you early birds. So who's already been in? Scottish Linda. Hi to you, Linda. I know you may not be with us at the minute. 21:44 that was posted. Deborah Speller up early as ever. Cat O'Clock, catch you later. Good morning HGC, how are you doing? It's not a bad day at the minute, is it? It's certainly here, it's not looking bad. Good morning Stephen Dawes, how are you doing buddy? And hi to Neil Russell Hubbard. Plane's moving into it, that's what caught my gaze. So as members will know, bit of a two-part show really. This more for members and subscribers, and then we've got a members only show from 8:30 I think it is, where I test out the new camera. That is a way heavier plane than the British Airways departure. That went up with a decent climb. So we'll stay with Chewy for Malaga at the minute. Good morning Daily Memes Gaming, how are you doing? Hi to Paul Kaczynski, thank you HGC, grateful for that. I've been fiddling around with sounds yesterday in terms of how it all works with the new camera, and they're not exactly the same as you might expect. Good morning to Akira Cat 13 Dreamweaver, how are you doing? Bit of dawn action for us today at Newcastle. As we were due to do a test, as I was saying, I figured as it's a dry day or dry morning, the time was now really. That's why we're here at early o'clock. There's the KLM that I knew was due out. This is a 6:05 departure. I have ridden this service myself on 2 or 3 occasions. As you can hear, plenty of bird song in the background. Looking at the windsock, it's basically a westerly. I think we start off with a southwesterly that gradually becomes west-southwesterly. No dramas wind-wise, although I think it picks up later on through the morning, a bit like yesterday I guess, and might be a bit gustier mid to late morning, but I don't think there's any crosswind interest in that. pretty much line astern with the runway. Good morning, Melody R. Wave from Mark. I do love it down here nice and early, same as I do at Edinburgh, to be fair. It's just mighty hard getting up, isn't it? As you good people know. Interesting to see the blossom is all blooming. Luckily on the low part of the hedge. Good morning, Carol Ann. How are you doing? Hopefully everybody in the show, those of you that work, are done and dusted for the Easter break. If you're not, you have my sympathy. I think our friend Hammy is one of those. So Hammy, if you're having a sly listen at work, big up to you, man. Hope the day goes well. Good to see you doing great, Carol Ann. So I pretty much expect this to be a turn and burn. The action today is pretty much exclusively, certainly in this phase of the show, is going to be departure action. I think we only have one arrival slated, and then when we go to the members show at 8:30, it's the usual mix of ins and outs. In fact, when this goes, I just want to try our new camera arrangement, so regulars will know that from time to time we use picture in picture, so you can see me behind the camera when that's strictly necessary. But the trouble was, with the camera we were using, it was quite difficult to protect against the rain or the risk of rain, which is pretty much why we never used it that often. This arrangement will give us something different, so see if it actually works, because it's kind of linked into a software solution. Just noticed in my bleary-eyed state I haven't secured the HDMI cable, so I'm just going to put you on lock there while I do a bit of housekeeping. Do forgive. Sod's law, it'll get yanked out through a moment of exuberance. Can't be having that, so let me just do what needs to be done. Right, that's that done. We'll pick up the Chewy 737 in a minute. Right, picture in picture was what I was doing next, wasn't it? So let me just see if this actually works. I think it does. Hello! Good stuff. That's going to help a lot on days where the forecast is just rubbish. Which, let's face it, in the UK is quite a lot of the time. Good morning, LW-8, a beloved member of our community for 24 months. Congrats on the new camera. I don't know, Nell, it's it's aging me. It's excitement and incompetence all wrapped up into some kind of, I don't know how to describe it, really exciting stuff, but you know how it is. The instructions that come with it are fairly dry, cover everything but cover nothing. Ryanair on the push. So yesterday afternoon everything was sprawled out in the living room. New setup, old setup, just working my way through different YouTube clips from folks who say how to set their cameras up. Things you need to know. Some interesting stuff out there, to be honest. So let's get some fireworks ready. So Nell's 24 months, Melody are 11 months, ooh, cracking close to the year. So LW, here is your fireworks. Let's see if these work. Hey! Thunderous. So Melody R, member for 11 months, here's your fireworks. And we're not done yet with the cacophony, if that is indeed the word I'm looking for. A Kiri Cat 13 Dreamweaver. He's also in the firework market, 10 months with the channel. Thank you for being awesome. That's the nicest thing I've heard for a long time. Thanks, Akiri Cat. Big smile at this end. I put myself back on camera, but I'll be immodest and you'd see me blushing. But here's your fireworks. Check that I've got the right airport in the bottom left corner. Only half remember changing it from Esher Airfield. Good morning, Maverick 79. How goes it, buddy? Thank you, Nell, as well. That like button, all important. We're a bit of an impromptu show today, outside of our usual broadcasting envelope, but every like really makes a big difference, particularly for smaller channels. Big channels end up with 200 likes on the clock before they've proper got going. For us in the cheaper seats, if you will, it really does punch its weight. So I think this was a Ryanair, was it not? I'd like to say I know where it was going. No, it's not. That's gone, hasn't it? This is the Chewy to Malaga. It's the Ryanair in front of me that is entertaining me with the idea that it was next to go, but it isn't transponding, so we'll stay with the plane that's on cam. Good morning, Paul Clark. How are you doing? So in terms of run time, going to be a short show, this particular one, through till 8 o'clock or thereabouts. Won't go after 8 o'clock because I need the time to change over to the new camera. Some beautiful pirouetting going on there. Some top tug driving. Good morning, Natalie Alice. How are you doing? You finished for Easter? Or faced with a tough day ahead? This is just being hauled round to its gate, isn't it? So there should actually be a fairly regular tempo of departures during this particular show. I think the only arrival we have is probably Bristol at around 7:25. Sorry if I sound sketchy. Belfast. It began with B. Belfast. Yeah, the sunrise HTC, it's just lovely being down at the airport on days like this. I think my favourite experience really is when I'm down at Almond Bank, Edinburgh, and it's a morning like this and you can see the Pentland Hills in the background and a few planes in the foreground, the tower, river behind you. There's not much wrong with life when you've got all that going on. I can hear an overfly, I think. Was it an illusion? Can't see it on flight radar though, so could be imagining it. Someone's still working and keeping the wheels of the economy going. Stephen Marchant, good morning to you, sir. Off to work in 30 minutes, but only 3 weeks until the next trip. What's the date on that one, my friend? Out of curiosity, time and date. I want to look into one of your shows sooner or later, you know, as in the Stephen Marchant goes to Tenerife. Three weeks is no time, is it? No time. Let's see what's happening at the sharp end. Caroline is not yet into Monday, Thursday, still at the back end of Wednesday. Casey, take your time, my friend. Get that hot beverage of choice on. You a coffee man? I can't remember. Either which way, you definitely need caffeine infusion, and then you can settle back and enjoy the planes. So let's have a look. Tuesday the 13th, bit early, a show. Yeah, to be fair, Stephen, that is in that early end of stuff. It's always good to know though, in case it ever bundles up with something else. That's why I kind of collect all these facts. So sometimes it doesn't quite work for one thing, but suddenly 2 or 3 things, and actually you've got the basis for an exceptional show. Although I suspect it'll be tipping it down with rain here as you jauntily wave from your window seat to take in a bit of that Tenerifean sun. I mean, it's not bad here at the minute, is it? Not bad at all. So at the minute I have 0 transponding, which is a surprise. By rights, let's see what's due on the board. So we do have a little bit of a gap for Air France due to Paris at 6:35, so another 10 minutes till the next one is due to go, and that's followed by Jet 2 to Alicante, Logan Air to Southampton, and then a rash of Jet 2s to all places sunny, Faro, Malaga and Palma de Mallorca. Ryanair to Milan, which will be the plane almost certainly that's on shot. Jet 2 to Malta, EasyJet to Belfast, and that'll probably be where we wrap the show. Well, not probably, it will be. I think that's the plan. Keith Cornell says orange juice, can't do milk and all that caffeine stuff. I suppose all those natural sugars will be much better for you, Casey. Don't they reckon that fresh juice is absolutely chock-a-blocker? Right, someone's on the push on the far side. Let's have a little peek. Jet 2 at first glance. I wonder if it's just being positioned to a gate. I don't think it's transponding. Nothing to Manchester from here, Caroline. It's kind of curious in the UK how we don't connect up the regional airports particularly well. So it's Manchester, the third busiest airport in the UK and an absolutely major travel hub. I think Scottish Linda was talking about this the other week in a show. Yeah, we don't have an Edinburgh to Manchester connection, so Scotland's capital city is not connected to the north of England's busiest airport. Bonkers. I suppose you get into the world of what routes pay and what degree of subsidy governments are prepared to apply. So everything seems to route from the regional airports, mostly, not exclusively, but mostly to Heathrow. Certainly Newcastle's most frequent connection is Heathrow, and I'm pretty sure that's the case for Edinburgh too. See how Scotland's finest are doing. I suppose the trouble at the minute, air transport and greener transport, sustainable aviation, politics, practicalities, blah blah blah, make it very difficult for governments to invest in subsidising internal aviation travel. I think the demise of Flybe, we were talking about this I think on the last show, was a major blow to interconnectedness. I mean, from here we can get to Southampton, so it isn't just Heathrow. We can get to Bristol. I'm trying to think where else in the UK we get to do. At least Edinburgh's got Stansted, London City, Gatwick, I think. Yeah. Anyway, too early for me to think. I'm not going to be doing that too often. Yeah, I think Caroline, over in the States, I know distance is a big driver for it, but you guys have got major connectivity from what I can see. Major. Which is right good. Oh, what's overhead? I can hear something, but I can't see anything. Top of my stomach. I've had breakfast. So we do have an aircraft transponding. That'll be a treat, and that is the thing I can hear. So I can hear the Ryanair to Edinburgh, from Wrocław to Edinburgh. But despite a mainly clear sight and it overflying the airport, and I can hear it, but I cannot see it. Can't see any vapour trails. Oh well, I'll give myself eye strain over that. Oh yeah, Caroline, I would say if you're able to do it, get yourself over, definitely. I mean, the weather here is going to be a little bit more, not a little bit, a lot more up and down than you're going to be used to, in terms of it's frequently colder. But yeah, I think you'd have a blast. I always think it's the same in the opposite direction as well. I've not been to America for years, but I've been 4 or 5 times and had an absolute blast on every occasion. So plenty on the parking lot due to go, waiting to see Air France spark up. Good morning, Scottish Linda. Yeah, Linda, I'll definitely have one with you, definitely. Keith Cornell may be all for the orange juice to get going in the morning, but Mark says below the orange juice, he's definitely for a brew. Definitely for a brew. It always seems paradoxical, doesn't it? You're down at the airport and it sounds like a scene of tranquility. Even when you're looking around the apron at the minute, nothing oh no, we might have one transponding now. Air France, I'd like to think. No, Jet 2. Currently an NA to NA. I'm tempted to believe it's the one on camera. Oh, hold the thought. That one. They're both going within the next hour, but quite sure which is what. Let's go back to this one. There's more things moving around. Good morning, Mike Wild. How are you doing? Yeah, Caroline, if you're used to 27s and nah. Yes, you are right, Scottish Linda. Cup of tea is always better if made for you. Mrs. PSA relies on that service, and then obviously today it's going to be self-select on account I'm not there to do it, but that is on my list of things. She doesn't like being woken up without a cup of tea, I can tell you that. Well, actually, doesn't like being woken up, I suppose. The tea softens the blow. Let's just go to the tower while we await a bit of movement. See the chaps and chapesses grafting away in there. Best seat in the house by a country mile. Yeah, it's a decent tower. I quite like the tower at Newcastle. Looking at Caroline's comment, Edinburgh's my favourite, definitely, but they're both similar style queues, aren't they? That kind of pepper pot type, chess piece type look. Although when you look carefully at this tower, it's got like a framework around it to give it the shape. If you strip that away, it'd be a more traditional, modern looking tower. Check Mark out with his architectural review of control towers. Come on folks, I want a few planes. Let's make some stuff move. So I can hear a start up. Air France are on the push as well. I can see them on the move. So there's at least 2 now. 3, I think, if I stretch this out. Was it 2? 2. It is 2. So Air France pushing and turning, and we've got Jet 2 off to, wow, who knows? Nels Air Hub. It's almost certainly this plane, as far as I can match it up on the flight radar display. I'm going to try something slightly different while I'm talking to the chat, and just see if I do the chat off my phone. Hope that won't steal too much signal. Probably will. Yeah, Natalie Alice likes Edinburgh too. It's pretty iconic, isn't it? I can't think of anything better looking, certainly in the UK. I think the tower at Heathrow is a pretty functional looking thing, to be honest. Of course, it's all a question of taste. Now, I'm just going to try and pop myself on screen picture on picture while we await a bit of movement. Yeah, that worked out. I'll do the chat off the phone while we're just shooting the breeze. Always feels a bit more sociable if I can look in and say hi. Shame I can't see you guys, but oh, looks like we've got a push and turn from Logan Air. Slightly early. That was due to go out. Well, actually, yeah, it's a bit early. 6:45 off to Southampton. I'd never say you were biased, Scottish Linda. I do think though, I've not heard anybody say they don't like the tower at Edinburgh aesthetically. I'll tell you where is an ugly one, a really ugly one, Dusseldorf. It's like they kind of built it with spare bits that they found laying around somewhere. Good morning, John Kenneth Williams. How you doing? Right, so there should be an Air France Embraer moving in a minute. I'll take myself off camera as soon as it shapes up. Sound behind is the metro train. Regulars will know that. If you're new to the show, it might be you're wondering what's going on. And also, if you're new to the show, I'm Mark, so thanks for joining us. Good morning, Mickey 9 NUFC. Pausing for dramatic effect. How you doing? Just been working on the ramp on the Air France. It's about to taxi. There you go. That's what we're talking about. Nice one, Mickey. Hope you're enjoying the job. Oh, it's moving as well. Let's get me off cam. That's inconvenient. I can't get my flight radar back. Can now. momentarily blind to the chat team, so not ignoring anything. I just can't get my camera switch back from looking at me to looking at flight radar. Pick that one up in a minute. Let's try again. Case cracked. Loving the ooh la la in the chat. Scottish Linda giving that emoji a good flourish. So good morning to anybody that has just joined the show. Welcome to Newcastle International Airport. If you didn't know already, I'm Mark on commentary. Short show from us today, largely weighted towards departures. On air till about 8 o'clock, so thank you for joining us. As always, that humble plea, if you could drop us an early like, goes a long way in terms of YouTube promotion. Anyway, I hope you're doing well as we move towards the Easter weekend. Good morning, SE Aviation. SE Aviation, if you're not, you're dreaming about plain sailing aviation. Oh dear. Anyway, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Good morning to Robert Brailsford as well. Top of the morning. So not our side till 9:40. Mickey, we will be doing a second stream a little bit later, as you'll know, because obviously you're a member. So the second stream at 8:30 is a members only one while we test out the new camera. As I was saying earlier, that might not, well, we'll see how we get on with it, but if push comes to shove, I'll just switch the cameras back over if I hit the need to do so, and return to base later for a revisit of the instructions. You can't beat getting down to the track though. That's where you learn the most, particularly under live stream conditions. It's a bit like Formula One, you know, that sort of first test of the new season. How's it going to work out? You've been testing it at the factory, in the wind tunnel, but you don't really find out what you don't know till you try to use it in the way that you normally do things. That's when you find out whether you've got the thing with you or not. No, I definitely, Carol Ann, in the UK ATC isn't legally permitted to be included. Some streamers do it under different rationales, let's just say that, but the law is pretty clear. And to be fair, our members did vote not to include it, so there is that. So no, we choose not to. It makes for some nice atmospheric flourishes, I guess, but I don't think it materially adds a lot. Like I say, we let the members decide on that. I think we did that last year, that vote. Although excuse me, I'm just rebalancing the camera slightly. Seems to... it's better. I think that was the thing, SE Aviation, and everyone likes what they like, so it's nice that people do provide other options, I guess, although the law in the UK is pretty clear, even if it's not particularly enforced. But there is a danger, there's just too many things going on. But I guess horses for courses. We've got a sort of hybrid approach. Usually these days I bring a scanner with me that was gifted very kindly by Michelle Johnson to us, and I have that in an earpiece so I can hear stuff. I've not bought it today because primarily I'm here for test purposes. It's handy to have access to, but you don't really want to overpower the broadcast. I'll not chase this one. Away like a bullet. There's always going to be a mission to catch that one. Yeah, HTC, I love a T-tail. Very, very stylish. I don't know if it's evocative of a different era of aviation. I don't know, but stylish. It's a bit like in that last members post, the picture that I included from Nick Gray of the McDonnell Douglas 80, which got a T-tail on it, and but it got a good livery on it too. It's a darn good looking aircraft. But yeah, always catch the eye. Right, so let's take stock of what ought to be happening next. In fact, I'm just going to go back to me being on camera, if you can bear it with the cornflakes. Let's just see if it'll play a bit better than it played last time. There we go. So I get myself back in the chat. Yeah, I'm back. That way I'll keep my eye on all of the horizons. Anything moves. Jet 2 is moving. Let me get me off screen. That was short-lived. As I was saying, the picture-in-picture thing is a software enabled thing which Linda Cooper and I were trying a couple of weeks ago without success at Edinburgh. Linda, if you're catching any of this, I think I've cracked the case. Although what I do find is it's hard to restore my tablet to its original settings when I want to change between picture-in-picture and not picture-in-picture, you know, flight radar and stuff. God bless you, Akira Cat 13 Dreamweaver, gifting a membership to the channel. Who got it? I can't see. Thank you, Scottish Linda. Still got a bit of work to do with that because we're going to be sharing the screen as well, which will be handy. So Kiwi Cat's fireworks first. Thank you so much. Now I was trying to see. Oh, hi Lars Rasmussen. How are you doing? Sorry I missed your entry. I'm trying to see who got the giftie. I can see the gift, I just can't see the recipient. Now I'm the same as you, Nell W then. YouTube glitch. If it's that for me here at Newcastle and the same for you in Belgium, it's got to be a YouTube glitch. But what we'll do is we'll bottom it out one way or the other. When I check the members database when I get home, I'll be able to see who that is, so I will include that in the next members community post so the new person can see who's very kindly gifted. Awesome support. Yeah, Kiwi Cat, I never take it too personally with the vagaries of YouTube. Until recently, I'd had a real problem replying to comments. I just couldn't see the comments. You know, when people post afterwards, I just couldn't access them, which was driving me bananas. A, I got behind, and B, it kind of looks rude when you don't get a reply. And the advice you get from YouTube off their help chatbots, utterly useless. Solved it myself in the end, in a roundabout way, or I found a workaround. Didn't really fix it, just found out another way of getting what I needed. Good morning, Terry the artist. How are you doing, buddy? And also hi to Ms. Amaz. Hope you are both tickety-boo, ready for Easter. I know it sounds like I'm a big kid, but I still have an Easter egg. Me and Mrs. PSA buy each other Easter eggs. I suppose it's all about the chocolate, isn't it, really? Do you remember the days when people used to hard boil eggs and decorate them up and roll them down hills and stuff? I seem to remember that as a kid. Well, just bear with me. I'm just going to let that one go out of shot. I've just remembered there is another image I need to put on the screen. There we go. So plane on screen is 737-800 off to Alicante. Tell you what, those beautiful dawn skies seem to have receded somewhat. It's largely clouding over. No real rain forecast. I think the probability was 5% or less, so partly why we're here today, as I didn't want to do the test in dodgy conditions. Good morning, Bruce 747. How you keeping? Yeah, I think a hammer would be rather good. I can live with the ups and downs of, you know, some of the tech issues. It is complicated stuff. What I find really irritating is when you've got a problem and you go to YouTube through their help portal. It's utterly, in my personal experience, based on my personal satisfaction, utterly woeful. I mean, I can't believe they are actual people at the other end. I think they must be AI chatbots. Might be doing them a disservice. But if they are AI chatbots, they always welcome you by telling you that they know that the issue you're worried about is very important to you, you know, and then proceed to not necessarily treat it with quite the same degree of anxiety. Yeah, Caroline, my phone's an Android, a pretty inexpensive Motorola, on account that I dropped them for fun. Not literally for fun, I just have a habit of dropping, so I don't buy expensive phones. Plus, I wouldn't know how to get the best use out of one anyway. Right, I've got another Jet 2 pushed on the far side of the terminal. I hope that's not spots of rain I can feel. There's a Jet 2 that has pushed. Clouds behind me are pretty dark. May have to watch that one. Ah, Scottish Linda knew what we're talking about. Painted eggs, eh? Not sure if that's something that still happens. So let's have a look. SE Aviation, I might have missed what you put. Let's have a look. Sorry, I've missed if it's a bit directed at me. Trained by a man in computers who wrote air traffic control program. That sounds some high-end stuff. Good morning, Audrey McDonald. How you doing, Audrey? And hi to Jill Champion. Happy Thursday. course today is technically Friday, if you're not working tomorrow, Friday being Good Friday and all the rest of it. Happy days. Talking of happy days, look at all the happy campers there. Good morning, Carl KKC. How you doing, buddy? I'm Mark, in case we've not met before. Don't recognise your handle. Right, we should have a Jet 2 coming across shot. I can't see where it's going on my flight radar. Let's just give it a refresh. Still can't see it. Anyway, what is incontrovertible is there is a Jet2.com livery on the move. Looks like the windsock has moved a little bit. It started off in a southwesterly position. It was forecast to go west-southwesterly, and that is pretty much the way it's gone. Good morning, Ian Finley. How you doing, pal? No worries, Carl KKC. To be fair, today's a left to centre change of pace. We don't normally do early bird streams as a rule, but as we were down here for something else, it seemed to make sense to give it a go. So that's happy fortune, coincidence and all that malarkey. Thinking heck, just looking at Bruce's post, 800 albums from the 70s and 80s bought. Wowee, sounds like there's a vibrant market in collector's vinyl out there. Although I think I've said before on streams, I heartily regret selling my record collection. Real stupidity and short-sightedness really. But there you go. No, intuitively I agree, Bruce. I think we all went down the wrong, well, we don't choose it, do we? But you know, the way the market went, stepped away from vinyl. As a kid there was nothing like buying a record. Sounds better, sounds more authentic. I don't know, it's yep, stupidness that caused me to flog my stuff. Dumbass stupidness. Oh, I've just got a notification that says my Pegasus t-shirt as designed by Scottish Linda, it's on its way. That's coming today. Yeah, you're right about the artwork as well, definitely. Some real creativity. It's not the same, is it? And I know it's age that's going to make this sound like I'm saying what I'm saying, but do downloads really do it? Can you really be excited by a download? Instead of hauling your ass into town to buy a record from Woolies or wherever. Pretty much all I used to spend my paper round money on. I used to have a shop job as well, and music was a big part of it. Okay, Jet 2 off somewhere hot. I think their flight radar has reset itself for me. Let's have a look. Off to Faro. We've got a runway check in progress. Yeah, downloads. It's like listening to the top 40, isn't it, and stuff. Those of us of a certain age all used to sit around on a Sunday evening, 5 till 7, with your radio cassette, recording the ones you liked. You get your mixtape. And it was a thing, wasn't it? Whereas, seriously, who actually knows or even cares who the #1 download is? Just saying that. Chuck it out there, shoot it down if you will. Yeah, I think as well, Scottish Linda, if I think back to why in the end my vinyl got parked, boxed up and eventually sold, is that my record player had broken, and at the time everything seemed to be about CDs and what you do. Oh, Major Kindness landed in the chat. God bless Audrey McDonald, gifting us 5 memberships, and this time we can actually see who got them. Oh, that's a good thing. Let me just jot that in my book. So let's do Audrey's fireworks first. Thank you so much, Audrey. Awesome support. Okay, from the top. Welcome aboard Trevor Russell, Martin Ferris, Andrew Stewart, Gary Glasgow. That's only 4, there must be a 5th one. Here we go. DJB Planes. Welcome aboard. Now that must have been absolutely priceless. I'm not convinced our Eddie would have been any the wiser either. He's never handled a piece of vinyl in his life, like many of his generation. Dear me. kind of takes me into my other pet peeve, really. You know, like, honestly don't think it's entirely a generational thing, but I just think people ain't writing anything. Well, there's not an awful lot of original stuff that's being written that's good, whether it's movie, music, TV. There are exceptions to that statement, definitely, but generally speaking, we are not knee-deep in quality new creation. Mark's view. Oh, another fireworks moment. Welcome aboard, Hamish McGregor. Welcome to the PSA Crew Lounge. We've had to pipe you aboard with some fireworks. Just bear with me, Hamish. Right, Hamish's fireworks. That's interesting, Scottish Linda. Radio and podcasting. I bet that is really engrossing, and it's the way the world's going, isn't it? I think I could do with that course. Oh dear. So the Jet 2 that we did have on shot, the Jet 2 Holidays 737, is on its way to Malaga. Scheduled to go at 7:05, so pretty much pushed on time. Plane that's being trundled around in front of you on screen. I ain't got the foggiest. Oh yeah, Jill Champion, that's right, you could load your singles up, couldn't you? Or, I'm thinking back to the very first record player, would be my parents, you could put them on the faster speed. I mean, obviously young people like ourselves are of the 78s generation, but of course singles at 45s and 45 revs per minute, and LPs at 33. But if you put stuff on at 78, it kind of went all and used to chortle us to bits as kids. Easily amused. Well, Keith Cornell, I don't know if Deborah's in the chat at the minute, but I'm going to say keep Keith Cornell away from hedges. That's all I'm going to say, because the last time I met Casey, he fell in a hedge, and it was one of those ones that was all hawthorn, which meant that first landing of the show is on the horizon. Could have been a telescope. That must be EasyJet from Belfast. So it is. So let's just get to the other end. So anyway, Myrtle Avenue, big swamp. Many of you have probably heard the story. Keith and I sort of carefully picking our way around the very edge of the swamp. Big pond, absolutely flooded. And Keith leaned a little bit too far back and fell in the bush. I don't know if it was the beer that I bought him earlier on that just took him off balance, but it was a tricky mission getting out, was it not, Casey? So definitely don't do that again. Yeah, Scottish Linda, Spotify is pretty much what I do now. Trying to remember all my yesterdays. So here's our first and only arrival of the show. By quirk of fate, it's all outgoings. Bit like life really, all outgoings, not enough incomings. sun's coming back out. We did have those kind of rain-bearing clouds that scooted over 10 minutes ago. They're largely well to the right of this position. Behind me is now blue sky, so I think we're back to that 5% rain probability being probably about right. Usually when they say 5%, they mean 0%, but they want to hedge their bets. Talking of hedges, doesn't that want to trim? But of course, that seems to be being left deliberately long, because as you can see, the hedge then goes short again. Right, so Jet 2 are lining up. I'll stay with EasyJet for the minute. I think the question might have been answered in the chat, Jill's question about charter flights. I would say on balance that is the majority, Jet 2 and Chewy, but there's plenty of EasyJet and Ryanair's in there from a low cost point of view, and of course a lot of that is technically charter traffic in a different way. Bucket and spade, so to speak. A lot of people choosing now not to take the package, more likely to take a low cost and then Airbnb it or some such. Yeah, I think you're probably safe, Keith Cornell. Just stay out of trouble, that's all I'm saying. Stay out of trouble. To be fair, I've never seen Myrtle Avenue look like that before. Good morning, Ash Watts. How you doing, pal? Oh, I'm really sorry to read that, my friend. Really sorry. Keeping one at this end, mate, but sending love your way. That is, I don't want to say the word, but yeah, it's really bad. I get that. Always seems to be something, doesn't there, to knock you off balance. Anyway, much love to you all, pal. So, Nell reports blossoms everywhere in Belgium. To be honest, when I've completed the test here, I'm going to go home, get a bite to eat, and I'm going to go down the allotment and get my seed potatoes in. I've been threatening to do it over the last couple of days. It's definitely happening today, otherwise I'll be missing the moment. Yeah, 93 is a good innings, but it don't make it any easier, and that is an awful lot of attachment, isn't it? I think I lost my last two grandparents several years ago now, and they were well into their 90s, both 99 as it goes, but in their case they hadn't had good quality of life for the last 3 or 4 years anyway. So whereas it was obviously incredibly sad, on the other way you could say in their circumstances it was very much a release and a relief. Looks like this might be one of the next to go. It's giving off all the vibes. Good morning, Skating Banana and Sam Thurlaway. Sorry Sam, I'll be probably down the allotment at 14:40 if all follows script. Hope your family do have a cracking time in Malaga. That's what I fancy, a bit of Malagan sunshine, Tenerifean sunshine. Sunshine! Give me sunshine. I mean, it's a nice day here, but you're not going to be in your t-shirt anytime soon. Oh no. So that isn't transponding yet, certainly isn't with me. It's almost certainly the next to go. Live for another 35-40 minutes. So sit tight, enjoy your coffee, your tea. Oh God, that is chilly. Looks like we're clipped on. I just swallowed an insect. Well, nearly swallowed an insect. Good morning, Murray Mackay. How you doing, Murray? Sam says King and Queen is in Durham today. Sam, I saw your message on Facebook. What did they fly in on? I was curious. Was it one of those Falcons, you know, the Envoy 4s as they're called in the RAF? Is that what they came in on? Ooh, that is incredibly cool, Ash. Mac Loot. You're going to come away with some corkers. I do hope you get the weather. I really do. Quite jealous, actually. Well, I have got a big gob, to be fair, Scottish Linda. I'm a human fly trap. To be fair, there's not an awful lot of midgy type action here, so I don't think it's a midge. Sometimes at Almond Bank, if the sun comes out, suddenly you get lots of the little blighters. Here, I can't see an awful lot of anything moving. Okay, let's go back to picture-in-picture sociability. Now I'm getting all adverts. Dear me. I tell you what, YouTube try really hard to do, and I guess other live streamers will have the same. I've noticed the same thing. They're always trying to push you to have mid-roll adverts, as they call it. You know, the things that pop up in the middle of a program you're watching. There's like a big block where I've got like a screen with all your pending shows, and the screen has got nearly a third of it dominated by an advert basically asking me to consider putting in midstream adverts, which obviously I'm not, but I can't get rid of this wretched thing either. Royal helicopter, thanks Sam. I did wonder what they might be flying in on. Caroline likes the windsock. Let's just see what it's doing. Left a bit, right a bit. Yeah, west-southwesterly. Not doing a huge amount. I've not got the forecast up on the screen, but yeah, Keith Cornell, rail travel. We were talking earlier in the show about the fact that internal aviation within the UK all seems to, it's not particularly well connected, and hence we can't fly from here to say Manchester, or Edinburgh to Manchester is a more compelling route that seems to be missing. But rail travel, I've commented on this show a few times that to go from here to Bristol, it's cheaper and quicker to go with EasyJet than to go on the train, which is what I'm doing for the RIAT in July. So didn't make any sense. Can I hear a start up? I think I can. And Sam, as Sam says, Jet 2 to Palma is pinging. Thank you, Sam. Just going to move the camera a tidge. But I'm going to take me off for a bit. I'll tell you what, Ian Finlay, I bet you wish you could do that day again. Do you not? They're the kind of moments that are going to live with you forever. Mind you, I tell myself on a way more humble level, that going up in that Tiger Moth is going to be one of those moments for me. So theoretically the show is still on for Saturday for that one. 5 o'clock Saturday. We've not put the thumbnail out yet because although the risk of rain has abated significantly, it still looks a lot windier than their operating envelope, and it's a crosswind as well, so I'm convinced it's going to happen as advertised. But we will put something out in terms of what shows we are doing over Easter. Not 100% certain what we're doing tomorrow, so we may do something tomorrow, so hold the thought. But everything else we're kind of just playing by ear at the minute. In fact, we're playing it all by ear. That's probably the more honest thing to say. We will be doing stuff, we're just not quite sure what's going to work best. Oh dear, Ash as well, riding in the 400M. I feel an underachiever when it comes to flying around in good stuff, I really do. We're moving. whatever next. Sam says 43 minutes for the Ryanair from Krakow. That'll be outside the run time for this show, Sam. Definitely confirm that, because I'll need to be swapping cameras over and just seeing how I get on with the focus before I go live. So members, hope to see as many of you as fancy it from 8:30 onwards. Could be a short show, could be a longer show. Really about just working out how the focus settings work in this kind of context, and practical things like run time. We've got plenty enough power bank type facility. The problem is always that trickle charging of stuff to keep it going for long enough. So normally we can run a broadcast up to 6 and 7 hours with some sensible management, but I'm not sure, without trying it out, how it will work today. Does the camera get too hot after a bit? Stuff like that. So Carol Ann, if you've got the notification bell hit, that you're definitely, or 90% certain definitely, because YouTube aren't always reliable with that, you'll get the notification. We're just literally trying to work out a couple of bits for what we want to do over Easter. So we will get something out. All things are possible at the minute. I just need to have a chat with Eddie later to see where it all fits. So watch this space is what I'm trying to say. We definitely have a bank holiday show Easter Monday from Edinburgh, and we may well be doing something on top of that in between. It's just working out what looks best for us. Thank you, Carol Ann, that is really nice of you to say. And HGC for seconding it. You're great company, folks, great company. Yeah, I suppose you are right now, aren't you? Next is in what? An hour's time, pretty much, or just under an hour's time. That does sound crackers. Now the camera you're looking at, Sam, is my trusty Panasonic, which will continue to be what we use on broadcasts for a little while yet. The new kit is a mirrorless camera, and when it's set up properly and I know what I'm doing with it, will give better picture quality. It's just having to work your way through it, whereas the Panasonic is a camcorder and essentially a point and shoot with a few settings you can tweak, but not an awful lot. The new camera has got a lot of bits with it, so it's going to take a bit of getting to grips with. So the plan is to do a series of members streams and just build up experience with it. in those streams so members can see how it's going. Some of those will be shorter, some of those will be longer. I've got a separate notebook here for jotting down bits and bobs that I find difficult on the day, kind of thing. But it's pretty exciting stuff, no question. So the Jet 2 on screen, if I can manipulate my tablet, yep, is off to Mallorca. That great British Easter getaway is getting away. Thank you, Jill Champion, with a great comment. It's kind of the balance we look to do. Good morning, Big DC. How you doing? See you next time, Carol Ann. Enjoy your sleep. Mighty late for you. So Mickey 9 NUFC is working on the KLM from Amsterdam at 10 to 9. So all being well, we'll catch that on the member stream. We will be live, Mickey. If you can give us a wave, I'll wave back. Oh my word, that's a very kind thing that's just gone big on the screen. Good morning, Dean Kerbo. How you doing, Dean? And thank you so much. $50 US donated to the channel. And of course, everything at PSA only goes on content. So, excellent. Absolutely beaming from ear to ear. Just wait this plane lining up, and then we'll get your fireworks on. Hope you're keeping well. Right, let's do the fireworks now. Dean, these are for you. Crikey, it's not hanging about. Got a Jet 2 on the push, I can see, so it looks like we're going to be okay for action as we work our way through the last 20 minutes of the current show. Oh, it's a Ryanair with a special livery of sorts. Let's get a picture of it if I can. Not sure what that's all about. Talking about the next show, I don't know if I can get you enough perspective to see. There we go. So there's the new stuff. Back to the F1 analogy. A bit like a load of new tyres all laid out in the pit. Nell, you put it so much better than me. In fact, we're back to Aberdeen in the very, well, fairly near future as well. Pretty near future, so hold that thought, members and beloved friends. So if you remember at plain sailing aviation, we do just spend the money on content. The more we have to play with, the more we try to do. You're definitely not paying my gas bill. So Ryanair taking a fairly languid push. Get to over there. So it looks like we've got one, at least two more departures to go. I think the EasyJet from Belfast goes out before we are due to depart this particular show. HTC brings the super news that we've hit 100 likes, well 103. Quick peal of fireworks from Mark to say thanks one and all. Oh, Newcastle won last night, did they, Sam Furlaway? Since I fell out of love with football due to Leicester City's woeful season, I've kind of dialed out from a lot of it because I'm sulking like a 13-year-old with the huff. Take another picture of that. So your screen froze momentarily. Thank you, Jill Champion, for hitting that like. Honestly, it really makes such a difference. It's just unbelievable. So actually thinking about members only streams, so remiss of me as well. So if people wonder how you become a member of a channel, and this isn't hard sell, it's just so folks know, the little dollar sign beneath the chat window, if you click on it, it tells you what you get. We're only £1.99 a month, and of that we get around £1.20 because YouTube take their cut. And if that appeals, it'd be great to have you with us, and obviously, you know, like I say, no hard sell from me. Right, let's have a look. I've got to be honest with you, Dean, a steak ale pie and a couple of pints is probably my idea of the perfect day out. Oh dear me. Yeah, you got taste. Steak ale pie. Crikey, 5-0 the Newcastle. They're on fire. Doing it for Eddie while he's laid up. It's nice to see a team that actually play for their manager and each other. Not enough of that in football. So let's go into that sticker now. It's a good question you ask, because I don't know. I mean, oh wow, we've seen this at Edinburgh before. Isn't this a region of Poland? And it's some kind of fairly obscure tourist board promotion. Does anyone know better than that? In fact, let's go to the reg if anyone wants to check it out. No, we've definitely seen this at Edinburgh before. I'm just going to take one more snap there for my own reference. Right, see you all soon, Jill Champion. Have a great day. I've got to be honest, I don't think there's an awful lot of value in that as an advert, if I have remembered that correctly. A bit too obscure, although the fact I've remembered it is, I don't know, perhaps it's a little bit of testament to the fact it's not entirely useless. Good morning, Mohawk, Scotland. Ah, that is the kind of everyday conversation that I don't get, Mohawk, chatting to a BA 777 pilot. It is interesting though, isn't it, what they might want to do at London City. I didn't realise that you could only have 2 there at once. of course there is that other business, and this must be true, I guess, then British Airways were mooted, weren't they, to be looking to trying to certify the A320 for London City. I don't know if that's come to out since or whatever, but it is pretty tight there. Even to me, it's, you know, it looks tight. Thanks, Nell. So this plane, I can't pronounce the region in Poland that it's promoting. And if I had a go, it wouldn't sound right, but I just don't think that's a... I hope they didn't spend more than 50 quid on that advert. I mean, you'd think you'd at least have the word visit above it, so you think, oh, visit where? Or is that just, if you didn't know all of the regions in Poland, a bit like, I guess, if this was in Poland and it just randomly had Leicestershire on it or Northumberland or something, you'd say, oh, okay. Natalie, Alice, have a great rest of day, and I'm going to need a good dollop of luck, because I've piddled around with it in the back garden, but I realised I just got to bring it down to the airport. Sensible thing, do a stream and then have a piddle about. So thank you for that, keep you all posted. Out of curiosity, Mohawk, have they got plans to refresh the infrastructure at London City? Seems to be a few of the UK airports at the minute that are queued up in that space with expansion plans, I believe, for Stansted. We know about Heathrow. Gatwick's also got stuff in play. They've also got something in play for Newcastle, haven't they? Those of you who know the northeast, live in the northeast, are they going to put some kind of freight terminal roughly where the camera's pointing at the minute? Or did I dream that? I might have dreamt it. I actually have a graphic which I'll put on the next Newcastle stream. But I know there are plans, so there's a lot of infrastructure stuff going on. Oh yeah, an LW. I've heard of that breed of dogs, although I couldn't pick one out of an ID parade. Ah, north central Poland, says Ian Finley. Well, I think their tourist board could have done a lot better with their advertising. I quite like the colour swatch. It's just need to put visit, just 5 letters, and that suddenly becomes a different thing. Then, a bit like now, we're talking about where is it? You can create that kind of interest, but other than that, is it just the name of a plane, you think? So, 16 years of age as well. Thanks, Sam. Ryanair don't seem to really do much, do they, special livery wise? They do a few special stickers hither and thither. Paul Kaczynski, have a great day, rest of day. So you're off to walk Cora the Cavapoo. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for joining us, pal. Hope the weather in Livingston is at least what we have here, if not better. Yes, this is true, Scottish Linda. Don't worry, normal surface will be resumed. It's generally, if there's more stuff happening, it's harder to keep on top. That's roughly it. But, you know, occasionally I'm in form. Definitely. Yeah, Mohawk special liveries do cost money, and I suppose if that's your ad budget, you kind of do what you do, don't you? I mean, I don't know, I mean, I'm looking at the art on this plane. I can't believe it would have cost more than what, £10,000 to actually fix it on. I might be wrong. And then Ryanair want what they want for displaying it. That'd probably be another 50 grand. And I guess it's how long does it stay on the plane. But it's all about your budget, isn't it, really? And what you're hoping to do with it. I know us aviation enthusiasts, we love this stuff, don't we? Think about all that Emirates Visit Dubai stuff. Visit Dubai. Thanks, Sam. I'll pick that one up probably in between, actually. In between shows. I don't tend to have the Facebook tab open when I'm broadcasting, otherwise I'll be even more than 10 minutes behind with the chat. Yeah, don't worry, Scottish Linda. I always think I should do better. So that's always the way I think about things. A couple of planes now moving. Jet 2 look like they are going as well. So where are we now? 8 minutes left in the show, so at least 2 to go. Probably 3 of the EasyJet to Belfast goes on time. I think that is supposed to be the final plane of the show, but I can't see it transponding at the minute. Crikey, that is back in the day, Ian Finlay. 737 200s. Funny, isn't it, to think of Ryanair as a smaller airline starting up and all that goes with it. Now they're kind of ubiquitous, aren't they? Ooh, Mohawk, you don't hang around, do you? Your Virgin A350 1000 model. Good stuff, pal, good stuff. I've got that one as well. I have a bias, not that I've stuck to it entirely, but when I'm buying models, things I've seen. That's not strictly true with some of the things I've got. I think one I got from Eddie, I've never seen, or well I have actually, I lie, I've seen it in Frankfurt and Munich, but not the exact aircraft. Okay, what we got? So I'm kind of deliberating at the minute, as I think I've said to folks a couple of times now. I'm due another model. I'm a bit strapped for space. My home model airport is getting a bit cramped, but I do have a bit of space right on the far end of the shelf that's just heaped up with junk at the minute. If I could find some way of getting rid of the junk, I've got space for another 2 or 3 models. But I'm just not sure where the junk could have to go. Yeah, that would be the way to go, Mohawk. Definitely. Things you've actually flown on. See, I did most of what I call my good flying back in the days before I was collecting models, so I kind of missed the window in that sense. Johnny come lately to the joys of collecting aviation models, but I love it. You should be getting your fan Airbus as well, shouldn't you, today, Mohawk? Certainly the email I got from the aircraft model shop suggested that it was imminent for delivery. Right, all lined up, ready to go. and the EasyJet flight to Belfast is now transponding. So that's happy folks. 3 planes, and then we close this show, reopen on the member stream in half an hour to see how I get on with the camera. Good morning, Gary Fleming and Ian Nicholson. How are you both doing? Ian Nicholson, just too kind, my friend. Let's do some fireworks now. Thank you so much for gifting that membership. Ooh, rolling, are we? We are. Who got anyway? Rainbow Love. Good stuff. Good morning, H Dot. How you doing? Ooh, I'll have to look that up, Ian Finley. I don't think I pronounced that correctly. Durante. Yeah, I think Jetstream 31 might be a better way for me to visualise that. Plus it's easier on the tongue. Hang on a minute, what's going on here? Nicholson, you catch me out every time with this. I thought that was the original gifted. I didn't realise you dropped another one. Yeah, don't worry, Scottish Linda. I know you're teasing me. Now, who got this one? Mark Stocks. Welcome aboard. So here's Ian Nicholson's fireworks. Great support, mate. Looks like we're on the move. Off to Malta. Quite beautiful, well, parts of Malta can be at this time of year. Remember going with Mrs. PSA and Eddie too many years ago, probably 1997. Maliha Bay, very floral. So, looks like we've got 2 final planes of the show. We'll do both of them. Got a Chewy on the far side. You can probably just see the tail fin left hand side of the screen. And this EasyJet A319 returning to Belfast. Check on that Chewy departure, because I didn't think we'd got one at this phase of the show. D for departure. H Dot has also gifted a membership. Awesome support. Thank you so much, H Dot. I'm going to put some fireworks on in a jiff. Hang on a minute. And Ian Nicholson's gifted another membership. Guys, I love you. I really do. So let's do H dots fireworks. Thank you, H dot. And then we'll do Ian Nicholson's hat trick fireworks set. Right, let's do it now. And we'll see who got what. Okay, so I can see Andrew Wignall is the beneficiary of H dots, and Tim Rorick got the hat trick gifty from Ian Nicholson. Superb stuff. Now where did that... Oh, I think that Chewy is just being moved to a gate. So I think it is going to play out as this will be the final end of the show. So I'll do the usual post-show wrap-up, and then we'll get things moved around for the phase 2 of things. Good morning, Carl Shield. Keeping well at this end, mate. I hope you likewise. Hang on a minute. Now I'm getting really wrapped up in my confusion. 1, 2, 3, a 4th gifted membership from Ian Nicholson. All the veins are coming out my temples. Thank you, mate. Don't know what to say. Jane Chapman being the lucky recipient of the 4th gifted from Ian Nicholson. Fireworks for Ian. Good morning, Richard Taylor. How you doing? I'm Mark Richard. I don't know if we've met before. Scottish Linda has the EasyJet emoji fully deployed for departure. 8:03, cripes, on slightly over the planned finish time. So members, do bear with me if I'm just slightly late with the resumption. Feeling a bit nervous and apprehensive now. Thank you, Ian Nicholson. It's exciting stuff. It's always a little bit daunting when you have something that you've been looking forward to, cost a fair amount of dough, and you just want it to pretty much work well straight out the box. Of course, it's never quite like that. More variables mean more to learn, but I cannot wait. So those of you who are able to join me shortly, it'll be lovely to hang out with you. Might not be a long thing, I don't know. Hope so. So EasyJet just winding its way out for departure to Belfast, our final plane of the show. Thanks, Linda. I won't be trying to be fashionably late. It might be quicker than that, but cold hands never help when you're plugging things in and just tweaking settings. Right, we're rolling. Here we go. So that was our early birds breakfast show. Thank you to everybody that has watched, liked. Now W-8, thank you so much for doing the modding above and beyond. Really early start and all the rest of it. Thank you so much as well to everybody that has very kindly gifted us or celebrated loyalty milestones with us. Channel's nothing without the support it receives, particularly from members. But thank you everybody that has given us help, support, love, loyalty, you name it. Now W celebrating 24 months membership milestone with the channel. Melody R 11 months. Akiri Cat 13 Dreamweaver 10 months. I was going to say a different number there. And also gifting us a membership. Audrey McDonald very generously gifting us 5 memberships. Thanks Audrey, God bless you. We welcomed Hamish McGregor into the PSA Crew Lounge, a superb addition to the team. Dean Kerbo absolutely caught me left and centre with a superb super chat donation to the channel, very generous from Dean. And Ian Nicholson was causing my head to explode when I thought my screen had frozen, but no, 4 gifted memberships. Awesome support, mate. Great friend of the channel. And another great friend of the channel, H. as well, gifting a membership. So as we've covered at different points with the show, going to be live again in about 25 minutes or thereabouts. Just bear with me though if it is slightly later than advertised. I'm just going to go to the bottom of the chat, just check there's nothing that I need to see. No, I think we're all good. So I'm going to crack on, get the stuff out the bag, switched over, and look forward to seeing you soon. If you're not a member, do hit that notification bell, because we'll be putting out information about what we're doing over the Easter weekend pretty soon actually. Just got a couple of bits so we haven't quite settled, but we are definitely doing Easter Monday at Edinburgh. It's just a case of what we might be doing on Good Friday, I think, that we need to settle. So in the meantime, see you soon. Stay safe, have fun.